brand new selfie camera. But how much better is it at taking photos and videos than last year's iPhone XS? Let's find out. Now this isn't your regular camera shootout, largely because the iPhone 11 Pro has features that are, well, just not found on the iPhone XS. The first thing you'll notice when you pick up the iPhone 11 Pro is that there are 3 cameras on the back, lens equivalent, and it's just a damn blast to use. Now, if the regular wide-angle camera on the iPhone is like a business suit and the telephoto lens is kind of like a sports blazer, then the ultra-wide lens is the equivalent of a Hawaiian shirt. It's obviously different from the other cameras, and it will definitely change the way you shoot. Now, this won't be your go-to everyday lens, as well as, well, make you feel a little artistic, kind of changing the drama of a mundane scene. Apple did a great job at balancing the distortion. Subjects look larger than life. And best of all, you can switch lenses. Seriously, try zooming in with a 2x telephoto lens and then tapping the 0.5 ultra-wide button, and it just zooms you right back out. Pretty amazing. I should mention that you're gonna have to find a place for your fingers when you're using the ultra-wide camera. Several times my fingers made cameos on the edges and sides of my photos, so you don't wanna do that. Obviously, the iPhone XS does not have an iPhone XS to an iPhone 11 Pro. And that brings me to my second favorite feature on the iPhone 11 Pro, night mode. Now, as strong as the iPhone has photo, the iPhone's noise reduction would help a photo as much as it would hurt it. The way it works is when you open up the default camera app, the iPhone will determine if it's dark enough to go into night mode. At this time, there's not a manual way to trigger the mode. Night mode uses adaptive bracketing and takes a series of photos, some with longer shutter speeds and others with shorter ones. The iPhone 11 Pro then fuses all the photos together to reduce motion blur and brighten shadows. I took photos of a tree in my backyard that was in. The final photo always looks better than the live preview. Now, as exciting as night mode or the ultra-wide camera is, the biggest change to the iPhone 11 Pro's camera is also one of the most subtle. The iPhone XS uses smart HDR to make photos look better. However, in a lot of situations, colors and white balance were not accurate. Blue skies would just look off, and sometimes smart HDR reduced the contrast so much. Yellow paint on the Jeep. The photo from the XS reduces the highlights on. Now notice the natural bokeh of each of the lenses on the wide-angle cameras. The bokeh with the blurred out background on the 11. Another change on the 11 Pro is the telephoto camera. Its 52mm equivalent lens now has an f-stop of f2, which lets in a little bit more HDR. These are not always the most obvious. Notice the shadows in the picture from the iPhone. Portrait mode photos from the iPhone XS seem to pull off the cutout and edge blending better than the iPhone. Photos from turning black. It worked on all resolutions and frame rates except 4K 60 frames per second. Is that you can shoot video. The one from the iPhone 11 Pro has better color. At the end of the day, I really enjoyed the iPhone 11 Pro's ultra-wide camera. But it's actually the small improvements to smart HDR, the new selfie camera, and night mode that I think make this the best camera system ever.